side, she sells her loot. Peaches so right, they can make you cry. With a gleam in her eye, she ain't shy. Twitter crowd knows her poker fame. Talk show, spinning cards and calling names. Feisty with a laugh that can burn you down. She's the queen in this southern town. Hey, bud, pull up a chair. Sherry's got stories she's ready to share. Peaches cards and a spark that excites. She's the sheriff who rules these nights. Hands in her pocket, she's talking fishtails. Brushes off the dust from the old boots trails. Howdy, y'all, she greets every friend. At the stand or online, she's got time to live. Hey, bud, pull up a chair. Sherry's got stories she's ready to share. Peaches card and a spark that excites. She's the sheriff who rules these nights. In the heart of the South, where the sun's golden hue, Sherry spreads roots like her peaches do. Laughter, poker, and a nudge to the side. She's the sheriff you want along for the ride. Hey, bud, pull up a chair. Sherry's got stories she's ready to share. Peaches, cards, and a spark that excites. She's the sheriff who rules these nights. Hey, bud, pull up a chair. Sherry's got stories she's ready to share. Peaches, cards, and a spark that excites. He's the sheriff who rules these nights. In the heart of the South, where the sun's golden hue, Sherry spreads roots like her peaches do. Laughter, poker, and a nudge to the side. She's the sheriff you want along for the ride. Y'all, thanks for humoring me, but I had to pay homage to the person that wrote that song or came up with that song through AI. Not sure how you clarify that, but anyway, they took the time to make that for me as a surprise, and I thanked them and wanted to make sure everybody heard a good version because we were playing one the other night. That was not very good quality because of the way we had to use equipment to do that. So thank you to that person and a shout out. Kerry Jane, I see you in our listeners panel there. If you can click on the bottom left corner, she may be going out, coming back in. Anyway, welcome everybody. This is Sherry Pluskota. Glad you can join me this evening. Hopefully Kerry Jane can get back in here. Give me a second to DM her. She might be struggling with technology. Let me get Donna up here. Donna, see if you can message Kerry Jane, please. Oh, there she is. Kerry Jane, if you can, if there you are. Kerry Jane, are you with me?
I am. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm just going to tell you that there's lots of glitches in the Twitter Spaces. So sometimes, you can hear us. Sometimes you can't. If you ever have an issue, just go out and come back in.
That's what I've just done. Yeah.
Perfect. Have you ever been in a Twitter Space?
I have not. This is my first time.
Perfect. We're popping your cherry. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. Well, I have a couple of house cleaning items to do, so bear with me for just a minute. I want to give thanks to my sponsor, Elevator Results. If you need a tailor-made workout plan to help you lose weight or gain weight, Elevator Results can design that plan.
Oh, wow.
Follow them on Twitter and check out their site at elevatorresultspt.com. Also, a reminder, the recordings of this space as well as past spaces will be found on my YouTube channel at Sherry Pluskota 9212. I need to give a formal introduction to my guest tonight. I'm so excited Kerry Jane is with us tonight. I met her briefly at the PokerStars sponsored reception at the dinner break of the WSOP Ladies event, at which time Kerry Jane was touted as the newest PokerStars ambassador. Her heartfelt speech gave a glimpse of her vision for her new appointment. Kerry Jane is the head of poker and has been for 12 years or so at the Hippodrome Casino in London. She's been involved with charity and fundraising as well as marketing for different operators. Like me, Kerry Jane is involved with the WPA and she is a board member. According to the Hendon Mob database, Kerry Jane has a total live earnings of $95,000 with a best live cash of around $46,000 for her second place finish in the 2016 WSOP Casino Employee Event. So now I officially welcome you to my space, Kerry Jane. I'm so happy to have you.
Thank you so much. It's lovely to be invited.
Absolutely. And Donna, are you there, love?
I am. Hey, KJ.
Hey, Donna. How are you, girl?
I'm doing good, girl. Miss you.
I haven't seen you in such a long time.
We'll see each other soon, I'm sure.
Look forward to it.
Definitely.
I love it. Kerry Jane, could you tell us how you got started in poker?
Oh, so now we go back to about 2005, 2006, and I was living in the States at the time. I was in the USA, and I wasn't permitted to work or even do charity work at the time. So I was looking for something to keep me occupied, and I stumbled across, and it's not a cliche, this is true to form. I stumbled across PokerStars, and I learnt to play for free play for like play money on PokerStars. Progressed to like 1 penny and 2 cent kind of sit and goes and tournaments, etc. And the rest, as they say, is history.
I love it. I love it so much. I kind of got my start in bar poker with my two sons, and then I turned to Zynga poker, free poker online to practice. So I understand how that just evolves into where we are today.
Absolutely. I mean, I then moved on. When I came back to the UK, I moved on and started playing, we call it pub poker, and it's a big thing in the UK, still is. And in 2009, I started playing in the pub leagues, etc., and then moved on to, MTTs and starting to travel to play. I think my real playing, though, started in 2014, though, at the World Series, my first visit.
I love it. And yeah, but bar poker is the same thing as pub poker.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, for those of us that have never been to the Hippodrome Casino, can you please tell us about it?
Yeah, so it's an iconic building in the centre of London. It's full of history. It was actually a theatre and was devised by a gentleman called Frank Matcham, who is very well known for landmarks in London and around the UK. And if anyone has ever looked at some old playbills or Googled or YouTubed Talk of the Town, that's what was here at the Hippodrome in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, with the likes of Judy Garland performing some of her last events right here in this space. Fast forward to 2006, and the building was a pretty derelict, and Simon and Jimmy Thomas, a father and son, bought up the building and restored it to its beauty. And you walk in, and we mix the history of the building with a real contemporary feel. I'd like to think that we're the closest to a Vegas casino in the UK that you could get. But we've got 7 floors. We only used to have 4, but we built 3 more during lockdown, no less. And we have something for everybody. It's a real entertainment location. Poker is on the 3rd floor, and it's the entire floor. We take up a a complete space. But we have a theatre, we have award-winning restaurants, we have the gaming floors, of course, outside terraces, and we're still planning on expanding in any space that we can to make it a real entertainment destination for people to come and enjoy a night out.
Very cool. I love that. I love that they repurposed the building and the building has lots of history and character. I love that so much. Um, I forgot to give you a little walk around a space so that you can be familiar what's available to you as you're in a space. So down at the bottom, of course, is the button you can click on and off your microphone. Next to that is a little like magic fairy wand, as we say. If you press on that, it'll give you sound effects for the fun of it, right? Okay, then next to that are two little people. That you click on that and you'll see who's in the space and what their role is in the space at this current time. Next to that is a little heart, and that's where you'll find the emojis that we put up in the space for our own entertainment purposes. Then in the far right corner is a little speech bubble. And that's where people can put questions or comments about what we're talking about. Sometimes they don't want to come up and speak to us, but they have a question, so they'll put it in that little chat, and we will get to it as time goes on. We have listeners, which we call them in the goo, and we have Barry and Michael and Ryan and Matt, who's over in the UK, and Max, who's in the UK as well. And the other three are here in the US, as well as down at the far bottom, it shows two other listeners who prefer to listen anonymously. And we call that Gitmo here in the spaces. Yeah, we have our own lingo and we love it. So just a little tour of what our spaces are about. Now, one of the announcements you made at that reception I mentioned was about the Women's Winter Festival you're hosting at the Hippodrome November 21st through the 24th. Can you tell our listeners what they should expect at your festival?
Yeah, so this is really building momentum. We're just a month away from it now, and it's a dedicated women's poker festival. One's from the 21st to the 24th of November, as you stated. And we have a main event that is dedicated to women only. And it is a £400 entry with a £100,000 guaranteed prize pool, which we continue to research, but we believe to be the highest guaranteed amount on a women's event. We're holding qualifiers and promotions and giveaways all around the world, to be fair. And I know that we have people coming in from the US, we have people coming in from Canada, Argentina. And it's a 4-day event with the main feature being that main event on the first few days, including a satellite that we're doing with no reg fee. And I think this is, again, a refreshing kind of initiative. So come play a satellite at an affordable amount. We won't charge you for it. And we just want to use that price pool to get more women into that event. There's another element to it, though, that is really building in excitement, because we're doing a 50-50 tournament on the Saturday, which is 50% men, 50% women. And we'll, for the first time, I think in the UK for sure, maybe even Europe, I know Brazil have done too, we're going to create an equal playing field. And then let's see who makes that final table. And let's have a real, I don't want to say a battle, but with an equal playing field, I think it's a great environment to see who comes out on top.
Sort of Billie Jean King versus, was it Riggs? Who was her opponent? The first female versus male tennis match, right? To the battle of the sexes.
Yeah, I
love it.
Yeah, I don't know that, but I just think it's a great opportunity because, and if you don't mind me saying, women's events have a very predominant and reasonable position in the poker space. There is a need for them because I know many, many women, and Donna knows them also, that will love to play poker but would not play in a mixed field.
Oh, 100%. I know some myself.
Yeah. So we have to play if we want to grow the game, which obviously as passionate as anybody is about poker, growing the game is obviously a feature of anyone that works in the industry. And we can only do so if we tap into that group, and may I say minority, that want to play poker but don't feel comfortable about playing in a mixed field. So let's make it a great environment and comfortable and safe space for them to play. And then let's introduce what makes them feel uncomfortable when they're playing and put them together on an equal playing field. And then I think we'll see developments, because when it's equal, everyone feels a little bit more comfortable. When you're at that 2 or 3%, that's when you feel uncomfortable. But a 50-50, which is exactly what that competition is, that event is, then the comfortability levels will rise, and I'm really excited about that event as well.
I think it is a lofty goal and a lofty tournament to host, because it's going to be very maybe uncomfortable for people that have always been in the majority in that poker room. And so, but I also have faith in the men in poker, because, of course, I've played with them for many years, and I know that 98% of them support us and are going to be on board and excited to play that event.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I am a predominantly cash game location, and of course, predominantly male membered. In the room, that we are at 98% of male gender that play here, but they're all excited too. They're like, and we're launching tomorrow, and this is not a scoop, but it's information that we haven't put out yet. If somebody wants to come and play and they don't have a buddy of either gender, the alternative, the opposite gender, sorry, to come and play, we'll help them. We're going to create a list of female players that need a male buddy to sign up with, because that's how we need to register in duos. You don't play as a team, you don't play as a tag team, you don't play as a couple, but to ensure that we are 50-50 throughout the whole tournament,
right,
which is a freeze out as well, which is unusual in today's environment. So we'll help people. If you need us to help you buddy up, then we'll grab a list and we'll provide someone to go play on and sign up with.
I love this concept. I can't wait to hear about the results. I just think that is a great concept. Love it. Have you given any thought about hosting a Savage Average tournament?
Oh, well, now I don't know that if I know what that means.
Oh, okay. I know you know who Matt Savage is, of course.
I do.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, he came up with a tournament structure, and it's the blinds do not go up. Like, there's no blind levels, so to speak. They go up only by the percentage of players left in the tournament. And I will get you some information about it. I played in one back in the spring, and I'm going to tell you, it's a great structure. Like, you start out at a higher blind level. I think we started out at, gosh, my memories, I want to say it was 500 and 1,000 maybe. Or maybe it was, yeah, I think it was 500 and 1,000, but we were at that starting level for 2 hours. The registration closes at 2 hour mark, and then you go, the blinds only go up as you lose a certain amount of players in the tournament. You always have to be at that 10% mark, right? Am I right? I think that's the way. Let me get you the information. It's been a while since I thought about it, but I'm going to tell you, I highly recommend you do one of those tournaments.
Right. I'm open to all suggestions. Like, I mean, a year ago, I would not have thought that I was putting on a women's winter festival and a 50-50, tournament. But so, yeah, the door's always open to alternative, levels.
Well, I love it. I love that you're willing to try anything. And that is what always will grow the game, right? Because the same old stuff doesn't grow the game. It just keeps us status quo. Tell us, in 2014, you founded the Ladies Club. Please explain to our audience what the Ladies Club is and your mission or goals for your club.
So it's very different now to what it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I would say the original girls, and if you're listening, hey, there would have been about 6 or 7 of us that got together on a monthly basis, talked about our hands, talked about our strategy, talked about any tournaments that we thought we might go play, and played a little sit and go. And, put a little bit of money in the pot, played a sit and go. Occasionally, I would have something to give away. If we had a tournament, that sit and go would be to generate a seat into the tournament that was coming up. Fast forward, and now I have 45 plus every month come and fill every seat. I've started doing online tournaments as well as part of the club on PokerStars, and I've also started doing a virtual club in terms of we get together and chat about hands, look at strategy, look at dare I say it, bad beats, and talk about developing our own skill in the game. And it's awesome. It's a supportive community of women who love the game, want to progress, and just want to spend time with like-minded people. We do play every month now. It's £35 max spend, so it's affordable on a monthly
Yes.
basis. And that was always a goal, to make it affordable, but have a target. So, for example, I'm taking someone to Malta, to the Malta Poker Festival next week because they won their seat here as part of the sit and go. I took 2 to EPT Barcelona. We do a leaderboard, and I've taken 3 women to Las Vegas to the World Series the last 3 years, and they've played in the ladies event and the mini main, etc. It's all about collaboration, support, and getting, as I said, getting more women into the game. And I know many women through the years that came in shy, quiet, had looked a little bit about the game, wanted to play it, had played with their friends maybe, would never have dreamt about going to a casino or a poker room or a festival and playing. And with the other ladies, we held hands. I remember we went to the Goliath in Coventry, 2016, 2017, 8 or 9 of us. And we did practically walk in hand because we had 3 who had never, ever played in such an environment. And now they go off and play, as if it's, bread and butter. It makes no difference to them. So it's bringing more women into the game. It's developing the game of the women, and it's just a really good supportive club. And I don't see competitors within this club. As I said, I've sent players to all of the other casino groups, all of the other poker rooms, all of the other festivals, because for me, it's about having women play. And I don't, in that environment, don't see a competitive barrier. So if anybody's got something coming up and it's got a women's festival or a women's tournament, let me know. And if we can do, we'll do a remote satellite and maybe send someone your way.
I love that. And you know what? To me, it all goes back to creating opportunities. You are creating opportunities for women to realize a space in the poker world through learning, through teaching, through opportunity to, win that seat, to travel, to go to a place they would have never dreamt of going maybe 5 years ago. And those opportunities are far and few between for women, and you're doing a great job of providing them. So kudos to you, Kerry Jane.
Thank you. I mean, to be fair, the format has changed over the years. When it used to be 6 of us, we would play a hand, but everybody would keep their hand and then they would turn it over and we would discuss the play. But now when there's prizes in Vegas up for grabs, it's a little bit more passionate.
Just a wee bit.
And a little bit more fiery. And there'll be no sharing of strategy around these tables anymore, I tell you.
Yeah, but you've progressed to that, right? The learning curve has moved, and you've progressed to that, and that's amazing.
I agree. We have winners. We have absolute winners in the group now, which is just, that's any organizer's or, dream.
Absolutely. Your job has been done well. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. In June, Poker Stars named you their ambassador to focus on women in poker, which of course you've already been doing. But can you tell us how that came about and what your focus or goals will be as that ambassador?
So, you won't believe this, and I was more shocked than anybody when the suggestion was made to me. But it was literally a Friday night conversation of me driving into work for a Friday night shift and going through my phone book and thinking, who haven't I bugged for a little while I sit in traffic? And I spoke to a gentleman called Dave Curtis, who works for PokerStars, and we've worked together for a number of years on festivals and events. And because obviously the Hippodrome carries the brand of PokerStars Live in London. And it was literally an organic conversation that came out of that Friday night chat. And at the end of that chat, I thought he was joking. I thought he was just going to start, laughing at the other end of the phone at one point. It went, yeah, got you. And I was like, is it April the 1st? And then it moved very, very quickly. And he said, we should have you as an ambassador. You do what you do for women in poker. I have a voice. I'm not afraid to use it. I've done as much as I can for women today, as we've obviously just discussed. And bang, the next thing I know, I'm standing in front of 100 people in Las Vegas going, tell me what you need from me, and I'll do my best to try and do so. So that's how that came about. And I'm still pinching myself at times. I'm about to go out to the NAPT in a couple of weeks, and we're going to do some forums and some meet and greets. And, I've had a lot of women contact me over the last few months with a question, a suggestion, needing direction, advice, etc. And although I'm not the most prolific, and I said this in July, I'm not the best player at the table. I can hold my own, but I am a woman at the table. And, we do keep repeating ourselves. We can always have with more of us, around that table. In terms of what I intend to do, well, we're still finding what that needs to be. And so I'm exploring and researching what we can do. The Women's Winter Festival was born out of this ambassadorship, and I'm excited about it. And I hope that it becomes an annual, if not a biannual event. It doesn't mean that it always has to be at the Hippodrome. Why can't it be a spring festival somewhere else? Let's build if for want of a better term, a brand, a festival, a tour. And I don't mind who hosts it, because it's just a win-win. So that's one thing. But I think just looking at, and if anyone's listening, find me, send me a message, tell me, give me suggestions. I'm just acting as a voice and a reciprocal for suggestions, etc. I don't intend to do this alone. I don't have an agenda other than, pushing women in poker. So we're still finding what we need to do. We have some irons in the fire. As I said, we did place our satellite as a registration-free satellite. And I can already tell you that 2 other women's satellites have followed suit. And they have done a satellite into their main event or into their women's event, and they have done it registration fee free. So maybe that's one thing that we've already started.
I love that. And I'm going to tell you, I did find your words very inspiring and yet different from all the things I've heard throughout the years of how we're going to come up with solutions. And I think part of why I thought that you were so inspiring was the fact that you don't think you have the answers, that you want to build a team of opinions and ideas and suggestions that you can, take under advisement and try to develop into a game plan. and to bring it to fruition. And I think that is going to be very successful, because we're looking at it as a worldwide scope, and sometimes people just look at it how it applies only in their world or in
Yeah.
their bubble.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not looking for a cookie cutter solution because I don't think one exists. What we experience here in London or the UK is completely different to what women at the poker table experience in Vegas or Atlanta or Argentina and even online. So it's slowly building what needs to happen and giving options. If you like a Pandora's box, if this is your problem and this is your challenge, this is a potential solution because this is what we did here and this worked for us. So adapt for your arena, and mainly, and I keep saying it, but mainly just having a voice. There are a number of us out there, and the number of us out there, and hats off to all of us, and kudos to all of us for striving. And I mean, looking at the women in the Women's Poker Hall of Fame, I couldn't choose. They all are so deserving because they've all achieved so much on the table and off the table. So there are a lot of us. And what I also like is we talk to each other. Again, it comes to the competitiveness. Unfortunately, there are some that keep themselves boxed off, but a lot of us are talking to each other and going, let's make a difference. Okay, so where's our starting point? And I really am hopeful. And I'm not even hopeful. I'm optimistic because I know that we can do it.
I think we can too. And that's why I consider myself a soldier in the trenches, because I do believe in that goal. I need to make a couple of announcements. So humor me for just a minute, Kerry
Of
Jane.
course.
First, a little shout out to one of our Spaces members, Snoop, who took down a $109 mystery bounty tournament online last night for $4,200. So good for you, Snoop. Also, I know some of you are listening not only to hear this awesome interview with Kerry Jane, but because you're waiting for the announcement about what's going to go down in December in Vegas. And yes, I'm going to host a meetup game. It's going to be December 12th at the Bellagio at 2 p.m. And that's going to be my fourth official meetup game that I'm hosting. It's going to be December 12th at the Bellagio at 2 p.m. Shout out to Sean McCormick for agreeing to host us at the Bellagio. And of course, I am now accepting Splash the Pot donations. So reach out to me if you have something you would like to donate. Thank you. Donna, do you have some questions for Kerry Jane?
I do. I mean, me and Kerry Jane go way back, and I love this woman to bits. She is the best female ambassador I have ever known.
Bless
Right,
you.
my darling.
I'm bracing
What's
myself,
this?
Donna.
You know me well, KJ. What is happening the next week? Are you going to Malta? And how many people are you taking?
Yes, I'm heading to Malta. I am just thrilled that Yvonne and the Malta Poker Festival asked me back to host the ladies' event, which takes place a week tomorrow at Porto Massa Casino. Um, she has a female host that kind of is a fairy godmother of the ladies tournament, and I hosted it in April, loved every minute, and yeah, I'm heading back and taking a crew, encouraging many people to come join me for the ladies event on the Saturday, which is that's a real the Malta Poker Festival is actually one of my favorite festivals. It's a great combination of great poker, really well run poker, lovely schedules, a real mix and variety of games you can play, and the sun shines, and the tournaments start kind of mid-afternoon, so you feel like you're having a little bit of a holiday, and then jumping into something that you love, which is, you know, the tables and the poker. So yes, so it's a long-winded answer, Donna, but yes, I'm heading to Malta. Would not miss it for the world, and I head out there on Tuesday.
That's awesome. I'm sure you'll have a fantastic time. I've got to miss it this time, but
Oh, bless you. Well, you
also,
will be missed. It's a popular sight of you walking around the tables and saying hello to practically everybody. This woman knows everybody.
it's like I'm a Maltese citizen.
Indeed.
At the Hippodrome, what's your favourite meal?
Oh gosh. Now, that's difficult because if anyone's listening from the kitchens here or picks up on it, they're going to be very upset. Um, I make a joke on a regular basis that I used to be, you know, 4 stone lighter when I joined here, and we have great food. But we have a new restaurant in the basement. It's the Asian restaurant. It's Chop Chop, and it's doing extremely well. And they do a salt and pepper prawn dish, which I can't get enough of. And it's just simply prawns with salt and pepper, a little bit of seasoning, a little bit of chili, and I'll tell you now, I have to really stop myself from popping one in my mouth as soon as they come out because they'll scald. But I would say that's my current favourite dish. But you'd have to ask me every month because next month it'll be something from the Helio, our steakhouse, and then I'll move around to something on the terrace because I can't stop eating when I'm in here.
Well, I'm glad you repeated what it was because I at first thought you said porn, and I was like, wait, they're serving porn? Wait a minute. Let me book that flight. I mean, go ahead, Donna.
Yeah, so what can we expect from you? I mean, you've actually got a live stream table now, which I know that you'd never thought that you'd have. So what can we expect from the Hippodrome live table?
So it's been on my plan for at least 5 years, but I never really had the space, and I never really had a real strategy in place. So I built it, not me personally, but we built it for the UAT London, and we streamed from day 2 and the final days, etc., and the high roller on the table. And it has. I'm sat in it now actually, and I love it. It's got a real proper studio feel. It's an independent room. We're just having it refitted with permanent equipment. And so we will be launching at the Women's Winter Festival, and we will be streaming the High Roller that we've just recently announced. We'll be streaming the women's main event. We'll possibly be streaming the final table of the 50-50, but depends on what time that takes us through too. And then we launch straight into cash game action. We'll be streaming our cash game players on our YouTube channel and our Twitch channel. We'll be having women's kind of invitational and tutorials. They're in the plan. We've got some famous faces and more famous voices coming, and they will be hosting fans and friends on the table. We'll be streaming that out. So it's a real calendar, and it's a real mix of something for that people want to watch for entertainment, and also an opportunity for people to learn and see how others play. I think Cards Up coverage is amazing. I was commentating this afternoon for PokerStars on the APPT Manila, and I learn when I'm commentating and when I'm watching the stream. I pick up tips and I pick up, ways of playing and go, I hadn't thought about that. And so I think any Cards Up coverage that we can put out there will be entertaining because it always is. I'm sure they'll forget that there's cameras within about 30 minutes. But it's a way of, again, developing your own skill in the game. So I know I keep saying I'm excited, but and I hope you can understand, I've worked here at the Hippodrome now for 12 years. I don't consider it as hard work. Yes, I do long hours. Yes, I do unsociable hours. But I love what I do. And I love that I wake up every morning and still love what I do. So this is just the next chapter. I think we're a little bit behind in the times. So I'm going to run at it at full speed. And I love the fact that once a month I will get the ladies on the table and we will stream it out and we will have comments and we will, answer any questions while we're playing so that not just women, everyone can watch, can develop their game.
That's awesome. Donna, let me butt in for just a minute.
Okay, no worries.
A couple of housekeeping things. We have some messages in our chat. First, Bathwater for Buy-ins. Happy Friday, everybody. Good luck, Kerry Jane, and to all the ladies in poker. Thank you, Bathwater for Buy-ins. And Alex O'Brien, who's in our listening crowd down there, welcome. She writes, gutted to miss the Malta Poker Festival this time. And just a little shout out to her. She has written a book called The True Detective. So great job on that, Alex, and welcome to my space. Also, just as I announced a few moments ago, I will be hosting the 4th official Spaces meetup game, December 12th at the Bellagio at 2 p.m. Thank you to Sean McCormick for giving us that time and space at the Bellagio. I hope everyone can join us, whether they're in our spaces all the time or not. Everybody is invited, one and all. So please join us. Go ahead, Donna. Thank you.
But will there be pizza? But
I love it. Go ahead.
Sorry, that I just had to get that one
Well,
in.
I'm sure I'm going to hear that about 1,000 times the next month. So thanks for starting that out. Go ahead.
I think KJ's having connection problems. She's saying she's got connection problems.
No worries.
Yeah, I think she dropped.
No worries.
But yeah, I know KJ and I've known KJ for years. She's such a strong woman and an amazing woman. And when I found out she was a PokerStars ambassador, I was over the moon. She has worked so hard. And I know all the women that go to the Hippodrome and they are characters.
I love it. I love
I will
I
say
can tell
they are
you now
characters.
that women's club with 20 odd people sometimes make more noise than my whole other 15 tables in the other room.
KJ, remember I know who's there.
But before we've even started, literally, as I walk towards the rooms where we do the ladies' club, it's like a crescendo. It's like the Philharmonic Orchestra is in the rooms, and it's just but it's a great eclectic mix, and everybody's become friends. You've got people that would not be friends in any other environment, and they're friends in these rooms, and that's just lovely to witness.
And another point, how's your mum? And will you be taking your mum to Malta?
So mum is doing okay. My mum is 88 years old, bless her. She is not in the best health, but she's as sharp as a pin. She still gives me a clip round the ear when I get a little bit tooky. Yes, she's coming to Malta. She'll be traveling with me.
Fantastic.
Yeah, we'll be out and about. We'll be doing the ladies' lunch next Saturday before we go and play the tournament, and she'll be sitting there at the end of the table and be listening to what's going on. But yeah, she's coming out for a little bit of sun on her face.
I love it. I mean, I went to the ladies' lunch last year. Thank you for accepting me there, and it was fantastic. I loved it. So if you're going to MPF and you're going to the luncheon, please don't miss it. It's amazing. Great company, hosted by a wonderful lady.
Thank you, Donna.
All right, now I'm going to go back to the Hippodrome for a minute. Do you guys do any mixed game festivals?
Well, so we're predominantly cash. Our festivals and our tournaments really are quarterly at best. We are in talks at the moment to do a boot camp for mixed games during the Women's Winter Festival. We're just trying to find a space in the the schedule that we can pop it in, that most people can you know can visit and as a drop-in kind of thing. So the answer is no, but we are when we do a festival, I do always try and put at least a PLO into the schedule. And personally, and people don't know this, I love mixed games. I love variation poker, and I play that not as frequent as Hold'em, and not necessarily live, but certainly online. And Badoogie, do seven triple draw, and five card stud in my games. But that's no longer a secret, I guess. But I love the mixed games.
Now you're giving out all your secrets. Go ahead,
I
Donna.
know.
Go ahead, Donna.
No, I just wanted to say thank you for giving your time up and speaking to us tonight. I know how precious your time is. And hopefully, I'm going to be down before the Winter Festival. But hopefully I will come down and see all the ladies and everybody, because I miss you all.
Yeah, no, we miss you too. As I said, I haven't seen you in a while, but we are looking. Again, I'm giving away stuff before I've even got it secured. But I am hoping to have a satellite for the Women's Winter Festival run in Manchester before we
Oh,
kick off. So I'm in talks at the moment. I'm looking for collaborations. I think we're over the line, and watch this space in the next few days. I think we'll be able to announce that there will be a live satellite in Manchester for everybody north of Watford to grab your seat at value and come and join us in November.
that sounds wonderful. Now it just depends on the casino.
Why, have you been kicked out of some, Donna? Wait, is this a news flash here or what?
No, I've never been kicked out of a casino. No, I'd talk to security first. So, like, you know what I mean?
Always make friends with the doorman, Donna. You know the rules.
Exactly, KJ. Spot on there, friend.
Now we're really giving our secrets away. Oh my gosh. KJ, if you could change one thing in the world of poker, what would that be?
Oh gosh, you're gonna have to give me a few seconds to think about
Sure.
this.
You go right ahead.
I think the one thing that I would like to change is certain behavior at the table. We've all got our stories, and I've started writing, a blog or column, etc., for Poker News, and I've written a few pieces for other publications, Women Poker News, etc. We've all experienced poor behavior at the table, and I won't even genderify that. Even male to male, female to female, have you know shown unnecessary behavior, talk, and it's unpleasant and it is unnecessary. So I think just just I don't know how to phrase it. Everyone has the right to have a good experience in something that they're doing, and certainly something that they enjoy. And if somebody else's behavior affects your experience in a negative way, that's unacceptable. So I would like to change behavior, and I'm a firm believer in behavior breeds behavior. So if we all make that one little difference and we all start that change, then I think that's absolutely achievable.
Well, and tell me, some casinos are very laxed in the way they enforce their own rules. Um, a great example of somebody who makes sure that he takes care of his customers when a problem arises is Sean McCormick with the MGM properties. Like, he doesn't take any nonsense. And his staff has been trained and in that manner that we're not going to take poor behavior and do nothing about it. And so, kind of like Is that kind of your stance? Like, what are your rules and regs like at the Hippodrome?
So 1,000%. We have a set of card room rules that I expect everybody to, at some point, make themselves aware of. I have a new set of rules that we put up in March in each of the rooms, a very large, massive board that highlights the basics. And one of those on there says that everybody, should be treated courteously, and that nobody, and we will not tolerate any bias to anybody based on gender, beliefs, race, religion when they're in the card room. And I stand by that. And I have to say that the challenges that we have in the card room are never linked to anything like that, because we set that from the moment that people walk in. I am absolutely determined to provide a safe, comfortable, and pleasant environment for people to play in. And my staff are empowered to fulfill that wish of mine. If I'm not in the room, and to be fair, as I, develop my own career, etc., I'm not in the room as often as I like to be these days. But if I'm not in the room, then my managers, my supervisors, all the way down to my dealers, are acting on my behalf, because I think no matter whether you win or lose, you should still walk out of a card room with a good feeling that you've had a good game in a great environment. And so I'm a real firm believer in the rules of our card room.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. I want to thank our listeners, and those that are in the Gitmo as well, and those that will be listening to the replays. I appreciate you and you supporting this space. So I also want to ask you about, I've never been to London or played in London. And so I'm just curious, do you guys do like bad beats, high hand promos? And, what kind of rake are you guys taking for those types of things?
So I don't here at the Hippodrome, never have. Um, we position ourselves as pure poker, for poker players, by poker players. I don't do any bad beats. I don't do any high hands. We don't take anything out of the rake other than the service fee. And when we do a loyalty race, which I do every month, and I take our players to Vegas, to France, to Malta, to Coventry, to Brighton, we take them to all sorts of festivals, etc. But it's house funded. It's our promotion, and I coin it as it's part of our Giving It Back campaign. So we don't take any money out of the pot for any marketing, for any promotions, but we do give it back, and substantially. And we take players and we gift players, and they win prizes on a monthly basis, but we pay for that out of our revenue.
And I'm assuming that loyalty race is based on hours of play in the room.
Yes.
Okay.
It is. And everything's achievable. But what we don't do, Sherry, is that we don't tell anybody. So we post the top 36, which is the qualifying number. And if anyone wants to know how many hours they have to play to get onto that top 36, we show some social responsibility, and we don't tell them. We don't entice and encourage people to increase their play. So we have a social responsibility to them.
Bravo. Kerry Jane. Bravo. I just, I hope that's sinking in for some of us in this space, because, we are built here in the U.S. on those loyalty races, those high hand promotions, those bad beats, where there are additional rakes being taken. And, there's always that conversation. Is it worth it? Is that what we want? And I spoke about this the other day. One of the most successful rooms, in my opinion, here in the States is Best Bet in Jacksonville, Florida. And I always tell people, if you want a good example of a poker room, go see what they're doing because they have it figured out here in the States. They don't do any type of loyalty race, although they do take out an extra rake for their promos. But their promos are so spectacular that you're like not even offended that they're taking the rake out for it. For instance, they do the 12 Days of Christmas twice a year, once in July and once in December. And how that basically works is on the 12th day of that month, they have high hands and every hour, and they're $1,200 per hour. Then on the 13th of the month, they're $1,300 an hour. On the 14th of that month, they're $1,400 a month an hour, all the way to where they reach $2,400 an hour. So they have it figured out. They really do. So that's Best Bet in Jacksonville. I always have to give them a shout out because they're doing the right things. And they do a lot to promote women in poker. They hold a lot of women events. They host a lot. And, they hosted one of my meetup games. And it was a blast. And they treated us so well and kindly. So kudos to you for doing that loyalty race on the house. I think that is amazing.
Thank you.
I love that. I absolutely love that. Okay, are you familiar with the rapid fire game, Kerry Jane?
Oh, maybe, but probably a different version.
Okay, I'm just going to describe it very carefully and quickly. I'm going to give you two answers. You have to pick one, or you may pass. It's pretty straightforward, honestly. Just kind of like to do it for the fun of it. So the first question would be France or Germany?
France.
Beans on toast or fish and chips?
Oh, beans on toast.
Oh, God help us. This is a standard.
Yes.
This is a joke here in the spaces because our friend Hextopian tells us how much he loves his beans and toast. He's a southerner there in the UK. Wine or beer?
Wine.
Do the cooking or do the dishes?
Do the cooking.
Cake or pie?
Oh, cake.
Texting or phone call?
Oh, pass.
Did you say pass?
I did.
I love it. I love that you passed on that one. Kerry Jane, I'm going to end this space because I try to keep them to an hour, hour and a half, depending on, just on whatever's happening in the moment. And I feel like we've taken so much of your time already. And I appreciate you and what you are doing for me and others in the poker world.
It's my absolute pleasure. It's been a delight to be with you. So thank you for the invitation.
Well, thank you. And I hope we could do it again when you're hosting your second winter festival, if not before. Thank you, everybody that's joined us, and for those that will listen to the replay. And again, I hope everybody will join me on December 12th at 2 p.m. at the Bellagio for the fourth official meetup game. And if you have any Splash the Pot donations you'd like to make, please reach out to me and let me know. Also, another little snippet of news, all the attendees will get a small token of my appreciation. I've ordered all of you a little something, something. So let me know if you're going to attend, and we'll get more about that as it develops. So thank you again, Kerry Jane. Donna, love you. Thank you. And have a good weekend, everybody. Bye.
Stay well.